Assalamualaikum, Om Swastiastu, Shalom, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. My name is Anthony Codden. I'm representing MBA, and I'm supported by Derwan Wirawan, who's head of finance. And we'll go through a little bit about MBA, the food and beverage division of PT Map. So we'll cover the key things that have happened in 2020, a little bit of an insight into 2021, looking at the triple bottom line of people, planet, and profits, although this presentation is profit, people, and planet. So we'll go through that in our 15-20 minutes. So here we are. FMB has been in existence since about 2002. We have almost 600 stores now with 7 best-in-class brands of food and beverage. And we are supported by over 5,000 employees or partners, as we call them, who help us to execute this in over 33 cities. We have a listing of a special kind when we're on the Jakarta Stock Exchange. And I would like to call out the great help that we get from our parent company, MAP, in all aspects of the business to make us function, and our private equity special partner, General Atlantic. We'd like to say a special thanks to Sandeep, Varun, and Ashish, who are representing General Atlantic and give us tremendous support to make the business grow. So here we are, the middle of 2021, with almost 600 stores. Starbucks, of course, is the lion's share of those at almost 500. But we have the other group of brands we call growth brands. And these are the brands that have great potential. We are building them very carefully and very profitably to support Starbucks that is spearheading F&B's growth. In terms of finance, if we look at 2020, as Mr. Sharma did, I think it's good to look at 2019 as the reference point. This was undoubtedly one of our best years when we grew revenue by 20% and EBITDA by 30%. So everybody likes to see that kind of flow through from the top line right to the bottom line. And even the net income was very good at just over 5%. In 2020, we all know what happened. We had 3 good months in 2020 before we saw the graph that was shown before, and it was a very difficult period. So we were down about 33%. If you go straight to the bottom line, it's a bit sad to see that in 2019, we made 165 billion, and we lost about the same amount in 2020. So it was an extremely difficult year. Even with all the savings and the different initiatives, it was still difficult to overcome that loss. Having said that, though, our EBITDA was still positive, which is probably one of the better things of 2020. If we look at 2021, you'll see that Q1 was a little difficult for us. You know, we were seeing some light, but Q2 was very good. And if you see at the sales, if that was Q1, as you could see, for the 6-month period, we've doubled. We did more than we did in Q1. So Q2 showed an even better increase in sales. And as you can see there, the negative EBIT has managed to reduce quite significantly over the 6-month period. And as you can see, we probably in that Q2 only were negative 2 billion. Most of that loss was coming in Q1. So we are hoping that we could have another Q2 later on in this year when we get to Q4, because we know Q3 will be very difficult in 2021. Operating efficiencies, I think Mr. Sharma covered this pretty well, that premises costs were something that we had to work very closely with the landlords. And I would call out to all of our mall landlords, thank you very much for your patience and your perseverance. Our team, and especially Samia from the group, Agnes, Tico, and Charles, working very closely with the landlords to come up with a win-win solution. But we did squeeze them and they understood our position. Payroll, we had to work very hard last year and some very big sacrifices were made, but we all knew that it was for the right reason. So we managed to see some savings. Depreciation, of course, we spent a little less, but we were still building a few stores last year. We have to keep advertising. We have to keep looking for new business. So definitely there was a spend in A&P, but we made it much more towards social media and a lot less in traditional media, where we thought there was much more efficiency in terms of spending our advertising money. So we made some good savings, but it was still not enough to fill the gap in sales shortfall. We look at our balance sheet here. This tells an interesting story that you'll see our cash in hand in 2019 and 2020. We managed to kind of maintain that level of safety with a certain amount of cash, which I think during a pandemic, you always need to have that cash on hand, just in case you don't know the uncertain future. We have reduced that. You'll see in half year for this year, we started to pay down some of our suppliers. You see the accounts payable here was a little higher, but we've reduced that. And Derwin and the team recently have been doing a fantastic job in trying to keep that good relation with all of our suppliers and our partners. We are long-term partners with everybody, so we try to find a win-win solution. And I think trying to keep the payments up to date was one of our goals in the first part of this year. So we used some of that cash up. The interesting other fact from this balance sheet is that we do not have any loans. So we are loan-free, debt-free. So you will see no interest payments on there, which does help us to survive such a difficult situation in a slightly better condition. We've seen the sales here, and 21% is our CAGR over the past 5 years when things were somewhat normal. Yeah, definitely 2020, we saw a significant drop, and our half year up until June, it was just over 1 trillion. Where will it be at the end of this year? Probably somewhere between where it was in 2020 and 2019. So if we're doing about 2.5 trillion, I think that that's the best probably we could see, but it's very unknown what to expect for the rest of this year. In terms of our operating profit, we've always been quite healthy and producing good returns. I think last year was an exception when every company faced the same challenges. But the good thing was last year we managed to keep our staff, we paid them, we kept shops open, and we kept good relationships. So we know that the future can bounce back to these days of good profits. So we are a long-term player in food and beverage. And I think we see these trends coming forward into the future. EBITDA has always been fairly healthy. And as you can see in 2019, this is kind of how we were funding our own expansion and our growth. So we're using internal funds, and our EBITDA here, almost 30%, helps us to avoid the necessity of taking loans. Although we'd always have access to them, I think we prefer to use our internal cash. We still had money to work with last year from a fairly good EBITDA, and even during these difficult times in the first part of this year, we still have a positive EBITDA. So that's some good news that we can show there. A little bit onto marketing and all the efforts we're doing to try and grab any business we can. Very difficult situation. Food and beverage is dependent on seating. No matter how much delivery we do, we still need that seating, and Indonesian consumers still want to eat out. As we can see from May this year, when the malls were open, we had 50% capacity. Customers are not hesitating to come back, so we know they want to be there. It's all dependent on the restrictions in place at that time. So we're hoping that there can be some safe transition back to more seating. Meanwhile, we have made maximum use of our third-party delivery and aggregators. We have a very good relationship with GoFood and GrabFood. So thank you very much to those two organizations for being very solid partners with us through all of this crisis. And that's something that we see will be incremental income to us as we go forward. There are new players in this area with Shopee, Traveloka, also coming to share a food delivery arena, and we'll be working closely with them as well. We have been opening new stores selectively last year, and you can see here we opened almost 40 new stores. Bricks and mortar are still very relevant in food and beverage. People do use them for many different reasons. It's not just to get a product. It's not just to get a beverage or a meal. They go there for business. They go there for social reasons. They go there for many, many reasons. So we see the need for bricks and mortar stores to continue, although the shape and size of them might change slightly. Last year, we opened a good number of Starbucks, and we've seen very good results. But we've also carefully opened in our other growth brands so that we're ending up with, yes, as we said, almost close to 600 stores. And that kind of expansion, especially Starbucks have done a fantastic job, Tico, Charles, Agnes, and the team, at getting this drive-through independent style of store to be the main way that people can enjoy Starbucks. People need convenience. It's proven in several McKinsey reports that during this crisis, people do not want to travel far. They want to go somewhere that's easy to park and easy to gain access. And some of these new stores that we've opened on toll roads, in freestanding areas, in suburbs, have been extremely successful and are the way that we see growing the business in the future. So 2020, we've also undertaken several other initiatives. We have had to strengthen our foundation. In every crisis, as Mr. Sharma says, there are opportunities. So we've looked to strengthen our foundation, and we've done that in our people as well. In Starbucks, we've added a new CEO, Anthony McAvoy. We'd like to welcome you, Anthony, to the team. He's no longer a green bean. He's been here 1 year now. So welcome, Anthony. He's here to take the store count from 500 to 1,000. So good luck, Anthony, with that, and a lot of support. And we also have Derwin Werdowan, who's just joined us from the group. And we're very happy to have somebody championing our finance and accounting to strengthen again how we build things going forward. We've needed to innovate our menus. We could not stand still with our menus. And there's been a lot of creativity from Lyria, Astrid, and all the growth brands marketing team to come up with some new inventions, and healthy too. So you'll see a lot of plant-based foods. We talk about almond milk and other things that are slightly more healthy. And as Mike said, this is something that is very, very important to people. It's a good wake-up call that people now are looking more carefully about what they eat. Digitalization, we had a great roadmap to expand our digital ways of doing business, and it was a 3-year plan. Thanks to COVID, it got done in 6 months. So I think there are some things that happened a lot quicker, and we were able to achieve things because of COVID, and digitalization was one of them. And Budi and his team, supported by Ravi, have done a fantastic job at helping us get to that stage. But doing delivery at home has been a necessity, especially over this period since July. We've had to be very strong in delivery. And Starbucks have made a special effort, not just to deliver a product, but to give a service and make it feel a bit more homely. So that third service you would get, third place atmosphere that you would get in a store, we've tried to do that with deliveries as well. And all of our brands, from Paul Bakery to Pizza Marzano, and Genki, we've tried to give a little bit more personality to deliveries because it's just so necessary. Drive-through and new concepts, we've said that we've been working on that, and we will have a new brand that we can announce next week, and it's a very exciting new concept, best in class, so please watch out for that next Monday. Convenience and choice, again, we've had to rethink how we approach these, especially value. You know, less people people don't have work, people have less money in their pocket, so we have to be very relevant in those difficult times. And our go-forward strategy is really about how we can keep this ongoing, the learnings from COVID, taking them into 2022 and beyond. So we need to be very efficient in our business model. We do need to add new stores and new cities very profitably, very carefully. And I think there's a very good plan that we're working on now for 2022. We've talked about this very big new international brand that's coming Q4 this year. We're working on cloud kitchens. So these are quite commonplace now, and there's a number of different operators. We do some business with each of them, and we think that there's some way to expand our business there. Virtual brands, we'll show you in a minute. Convenience and safety in curbside pickup, we've been doing a lot more of this. And wholesale is one way to expand our business without the bricks and mortar. So we've been taking all of these and putting them into our continuous strategy. So it's not just something that we picked up in 2020, but we're going to use that. So one of those areas we were talking about is the cloud kitchen. Gojek and Grab have a very large number of these that we are working with. In Cilandak, it's with Gojek, and Depok is with Grab. And we're seeing some very good ways of broadening our brand, and we use Pizza Marzano for this instance. And we've done one of our own cloud kitchens. So still a few more learnings for us to engage in how we do business with cloud kitchens. But it does provide convenience and speed and less capital expenditure to expand this business. Another thing that we've experimented with in 2020 was our own virtual brand. So this is under the Pizza Marzano brand that we've created a separate brand that is only for delivery. We focused here on peri-peri chicken. We know that Indonesia loves chicken, so we thought a grilled spicy chicken would be something we could add to the offerings, but not under our usual brands, but we've created an independent brand to do this. So we're experimenting with that and seeing some good early results in this experiment. We're also, wholesale is a big area that we're working with our parent company and the food hall team, Raud, Iwolani, to really support us to get our ice cream in there. So we have lots of variations of ice cream now, from mochi to takeaway cups, so that you'll see all that in food hall and ranch market, Chemchicks. We've also got pizza now is also frozen. You can also find that in our supermarkets. As I said, continuing that theme, food hall, we do have Krispy Kreme, and all of the growth brands products are in food hall and other supermarkets. And as Mike said, the glue behind having one unified loyalty program is Map Club, and our growth brands have more flexibility to adapt Map Club. And with the help of our dedicated person, Michelle, we've been able to grow the number of new members and also the sales of Map Club, and we'll be putting more energy in that direction going forward. So people and profit we've talked about, but the planet is something that I think F&B needs to lead the way in how we look at ESG and sustainability. Starbucks, without a doubt, is the trendsetter, and Anthony McAvoy, or the team, especially the team that are here of Avo, Kiki, and Evelyn, have been working very hard to make sure that we have the opportunity to use a lot of better use products. And our supply chain head, Utomo, has really worked hard to make sure we have recycled PET cups in all of the Starbucks, and we're one of the first countries in Asia to do that. So it's nice that Indonesia is a leader in this front. We think that, again, we're not just a bricks and mortar store that sells a product, but we need to be part of the community. And being part of the community is caring as well. So we've done a lot of things with Planet Water, where we provide fresh water for people in and around the villages of Jakarta and other cities where we do business. But coffee is at the core of Starbucks, and we're very proud that a lot of coffee that Starbucks uses across the globe comes from Indonesia. And there is a farmer support center in Brastagi in Sumatra, that Starbucks owns, and we, as the operator of the brand, work very closely with them to promote and be proud of the Indonesian coffee we serve in our stores. We do have a lot of young people in our organization. I think probably 95% of our employees are under 30, it's their first job, and we're very proud to give them an opportunity to get into employment. And as you can see there, across all our brands, we have a very dynamic young workforce. So I'd say thank you to them for all the sacrifice they've made and their families over this pandemic, because they have been, without a doubt, the core of us staying open and surviving this pandemic. And we love boys and girls and everybody in between, because we are great at equality. So you can see that we are a very welcoming and well represented in terms of equality in all of our stores and employment. And education, as Mr. Sharma said, is at the forefront of things and how we have done things in the community. We have this wonderful store in Tanah Abang, and if you've never been there, I would suggest you go over there. It's not as scary as people say. You know, it's very friendly, and our store is a nice way that we show off the community in a nice way. There's a lot of good stories, a lot of interesting personalities, and you'll find some of those in our store in Tanah Abang. And we, as Mr. Sharma said, have been going out into the community. Again, Kiki, I have to pay great tribute to here. His own personal sacrifice. He's been going to all the Wisma athletes or the hospitals during COVID, not just once, but he's been out there with Evelyn to say thank you to the emergency workers. And that's, again, over a period of 18 months now. And we've given away all these things to support those medical workers and people, just to show that we care for them continuously over this difficult period. And this is my last slide, but just wrapping up again about the importance of the Farmer Support Center that we support in Brastagi. There's a gentleman there called Pat Surip. He's the agronomist, very knowledgeable, very proud to have such a smart person in charge of developing the coffee farmers. And we often go up there, and you see in the middle our ex-PR head there, Andrea Siahan, who unfortunately passed away last year, but he was very active to support the coffee farmers and all of our initiatives we did around that wonderful place in Brastagi. Lastly, just a few words that, you know, we are very in tune with people, planet, and profit, and we think that we're going to be very strong for 2022. We're working on a great plan now, and we have a great team to achieve it. So I would say thank you to everybody who supported us, and we look forward to next year. Thank you.